Okay. Since you're interested, I'll tell you. Now, this problem's been weighing on my mind for weeks now. No, don't fret, it's nothing to do with you. It won't affect you in any way. So you can take that self-infatuated frown off your face and pay attention. Good God, what is it with people nowadays? Anyway, as I say, this matter is entirely my own affair. Well, that is, for now. How do I begin? Well, about a month or so ago, I chanced upon an argument between the young couple in the flat next door. It's certainly a shabby place these days, our block, and we've been petitioning the council for months to do something about the damp and the faulty lifts and graffiti. But will they listen? Sorry, yes, I'm coming to it. But no, it isn't about the flat that I want to tell you. It's just rather delicate. All right, then. Look, don't say I didn't warn you. Anyway, they were arguing, this couple, until way into the night. An unpaid bill, I think, was the source of their disharmony. That is not to say that the bill itself had prompted such an acrimonious exchange. In actual fact, the wife's anger at her husband's incompetence had been considerably inflamed at the discovery that he had, that very evening, squandered the money she had put aside for paying the bill at the local bookies. The cretin. I'm not opposed to gambling. Indeed, I've often been known to have the occasional flutter myself. Well, on the pittance they tossed me at the garden centre, I don't have much to lose. But to waste essential funds on a few moments of idle speculation seems to me an appalling betrayal of trust. "I could kill you for what you've done," I heard his wife exclaim. It was at this moment, my ear pressed against the wall, that I decided to act. Waiting for the furore to subside, I poured myself a brandy and waited until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Then, when there had been silence for at least 2.5 hours, I felt the risk of being caught had been suitably reduced, and so entered my small kitchen. Here I retrieved a knife from the top drawer, hid it beneath my dressing-gown sleeve, and went round to knock on my neighbour's door. Of course, had I been given more time to plan my strategy, I should have made sure to call only when I knew that the husband alone would be inside. If the wife had answered, I still can't think even now of what I might possibly have said. What excuse could I have used? Who would call at their neighbour's flat at 6 o'clock in the morning for no apparent reason? But as luck would have it, it was the husband who answered. Before he had time to greet me or ask why I had called, I had plunged the blade deep into his chest, brutally stabbing him to death. Why not? Who wouldn't have done it? Even his own wife had expressed such intentions in as many words. And besides, since I knew that the man was a long-time chain-smoker, was I not simply accelerating a process he himself had begun? Still, I do feel guilty. I find myself caught up now in the strangest of dilemmas. Should I go to the police and confess my crime? After all, I have killed and should be punished. On the other hand, my inclination tells me this course of action would be most unwise. Think about it. Why should I suffer for his foolish behaviour? As for his wife, well, she was in a state of trauma, and there was no weapon at the scene, or indeed any fingerprints of hers upon the corpse, save for where she had checked his pulse, and so she was never charged with the murder, which solves that problem. Now, when you consider it, my trial, conviction, sentencing and imprisonment would be yet another burden to the taxpayer, and take up the valuable time of the courts, who, we must not forget, have dangerous criminals to be dealing with. Anyway, in my capacity as deputy manager of the garden centre, I perform an important public service. I would be greatly missed, and the bad publicity would harm my employer's reputation. No, I think, all in all, that confession would prove a costly, counterproductive, and ultimately pointless act. Don't you? Well, thank you for listening. All the best.